thanks for coming out. Thanks for, having me here. I really appreciate the invitation. I originally thought, man, so much of the people I know and so much of the opportunities I've had and the joys and the honors that have been given to me were because of conferences like this and things I did at conferences, meeting people, being, social, going and saying hi to the CEO of Living Social, things like that. So I was going to give this talk on, here's some tips, how to get the most out of the conference. But then I forgot to send my title to the organizers, so I got scheduled on the last day, which sort of put a little shift on it of, well, I could talk about how you could have gotten a lot out of this conference, but I figured, you know what, I'll do something different. So listening to Aaron yesterday, I got inspired. I was like, wow, wouldn't it be great to just stand up here and give a talk on me? But then I thought, as interesting and thought-provoking and, philosophically relevant for our day and age, it probably would be a little bit better if what I really mean is that you're awesome. The Rails community is awesome. You individually are awesome. Everybody here is awesome. And so I kind of want to talk about that a little bit. These people, these people, the ones who are giving talks today, they're awesome. And better yet, are they great? Are these people, I know some of them are great developers. Some of them are great speakers. Some of them, share a lot. Some of them talk to a lot of people. And really the fundamental question, though, is are you? Are you great? Are you awesome? I'm not the greatest developer in the world. I'm awesome, apparently, but I'm not the greatest developer in the world. But the question is, really what's most important is, are you? And the answer, naturally, is yes. You are awesome. We're all awesome in our own way. This thing works great. Anybody know who this is? You can yell it out. No? What if I show this picture? Excellent. You win a prize. Come see me. I have coupon codes for screencasts. Roger Bannister ran the first 4-minute mile. It was back in 1954. And there was talk before that the 4-minute mile was physically impossible. Now, in an interview later, Roger Bannister sort of debunked that myth, but I'm going to ignore that and pretend that it's true. That people said you couldn't do it, the physical body couldn't do it. But Roger Bannister said, screw that, I'm going to do it. And he went out and he did it. Of course, he practiced really hard. And he sat there and he ran, and for a while people were wondering whether you could beat him. A couple people beat him. And then he just sat there and practiced and said, I'm going to do a 4-minute mile. And it was like, awesome. That's a kick-ass thing to do, is to just go out there. Look at him. He's running great. At the RubyConf 5K, the first one that I went to, I ran it in, 33 minutes. I thought I won because there was no one in front of me. But then I thought back and realized that as I was coming around the first loop, somebody was finishing. But I have very selective memory. Yes, I have awesome has different meanings depending on how you are. Anybody go see Kiwi's talk? Okay, great. Kiwi McMinn is like this big. Little Irish girl. But goddamn, she's an Ironman. She ran an Ironman last year. She's running one Saturday. And I'm not 100% sure what an Ironman is, but I remember following, and it seemed to take like 20 hours to do. She swam like 100 miles and then got on a bike and rode for, I don't know. It was in kilometers, so I couldn't figure out exactly how far that was. And then she got off and ran a marathon. And a marathon apparently is 27 billion miles. Again, that's converted from kilometers. And so it's like, man, how do you do that? And you talk to her, I've seen her give a talk about preparation for it, and it really was about the same as Roger Bannister. I mean, she's this tall, and she ran and covered, I mean, it was like to the sun and back a few times. So it kind of boils down to this: how to be awesome, how to be great. We're in a wonderful community because we can all do this. And it all comes down to this: you have to practice. Nobody that I know is born a great developer. Nobody I know is born a great speaker. Nobody I know is born a fantastic runner. They all practice. They practice things like speaking. They go and they talk to their friends. They talk at conferences. They talk at user groups. They write blogs. They do mailing lists, screencasts, all of these things. But every single one of them is practicing. You know, if you look back at early screencasts from the ones that you really like, everybody remember Rails Envy? I'm going to assume everybody does. And then you look at the stuff that Greg Pollock's doing now, and it's so much better than that. Rails Envy was great. Well, wait, Rails Envy wasn't the screencasts. Remember the Rails versus EnvyCasts. EnvyCasts is now, but there was the Rails versus Dojo, Rails versus .NET, and all of those, and the MVC videos. Now you look at Greg, and he's standing in front of like stars and things, and there's the Rails for Zombie stuff. He practiced coding. That's the way we get better. Imagine if you went to see a band, and the only time they played was when they were on stage performing for you. It wouldn't be that great of a concert. I was here last night. No, admittedly, it was a great conference, or a great concert. Great concert. And we always talk about, oh, you should practice coding. And most of the time, we're practicing by actually performing. We're building stuff. Even if it's, your open source side project, you're still practicing while performing. And so the thing we tend to forget is that you really have to practice the fundamentals. You have to sit there and go, I'm going to practice automated testing. I'm going to practice test-first programming. I'm going to wait and get good at that and then move on to test-driven development. And all the time focusing on the very fundamentals of software development, like the 4 rules of simple design. If you haven't heard of them, go out, Google those, because that's the fundamentals. Those are the things that build everything we do. And find events, find people that want to practice with you. There's things like code retreats, which is very, very dear to my heart. How many people have been to a code retreat? As was said earlier, I can't see, so I'm going to assume everybody. But put your hands up real quick. Look around, find these people, ask them about it. They're wonderful events that are a day of intense practice on the fundamentals of development. People do code katas. A few people raise your hand. I don't know why, I can't see, but these are things, small solutions that you can practice over and over again so that when the time comes, the techniques are there right under your fingers. You don't have to think about them. Going to coding dojos, where you get together and practice pairing, practice working on a team, building stuff together. And very important is sharing code. There's this great site that I just heard about it the other day called GitHub. I think a few of you heard about it last night. Probably nobody here, because I saw tweets at like 4 in the morning. Share your code. We put out something onto GitHub Tuesday, and we already got our first pull request on it. Share your code. Don't ever be afraid of putting it up there. Aaron said, get it out there on the internet. Get your code up there as quickly as possible, because you're going to get feedback on it. You're going to get people coming in. Of course, our first feedback was make sure your tests pass. But that's good feedback, thank you. The beauty of it is because our community, out of so many communities out there, ours is very much a meritocracy. It's a meritocracy not just on how great of a coder you are. It's not just about the code that you do. You know, you don't have to be a prolific coder. You don't have to be somebody who has a million things on GitHub. Our meritocracy is based on things like contributing to the community, but there's a great way to contribute to the community, and that's sharing. Just going out there, talking to everybody, giving talks, writing blogs, putting stuff out there, contributing. GitHub just put their automatic merge request, merge the pull request button there. Go out and add just a little bit, add documentation, things like that. And that really is a way to get great and to get awesome in the community. How many people here have been doing Rails less than 6 months? Stand up. Stand up. Everybody look around, because I want to say one thing. Welcome. Keep standing, keep standing. Welcome, because this is the most kick-ass community that you're going to find out there. It's great. People are wonderful. We're coding in Ruby. We have, very productive tools. And the best part is because we care. If you went to the Ignite conference there on Monday night, so many of the talks were about teaching and about community and about starting schools, things like that. Now, how many of you have been 3 months? Awesome. Everybody look around. See these people? I can't see you, I'm sorry. But look around. Try to recognize them and go up and welcome them. Because that's what our community is about. It's about sharing. It's about getting together. You can sit down now. I don't want to. Thank you. It's really about that, bringing everyone together. Coming to conferences like this. The next conference you go to, you're going to see a bunch of people that you know. And it's just going to be wonderful. It's like a family reunion every year. So I just want to end by saying just get out, do it. Go out, share, put your code up on GitHub, and more importantly, get out there and be awesome. That's the thing. Thanks.